And we are ready to begin. We are so pleased you're here. And as we say all the time, we have waited for you your entire lives. Now you will understand it today because we waited for this day to tell you that you were the answer. Well, actually, we told you last year on this date, but you might not have heard us. And so this is why we repeat things, because it just takes a while for your consciousness to accept how valuable and important you are, because that's the evolutionary journey that you move through. And there's also your ascension journey, which we said we have given you an ascension guide. And we've laid out many things in this last several weeks to show you that you have always been guided. Nothing is going wrong in your life or in your world. It just means that you are meant to do something more, and that is accepting yourself, loving who you are, and doing the job that you came to the earth to do. You don't come to the earth meaningless. That never happens. You all have something that you accept to bring into the world that's going to make a difference if you decide to accept who you are. Now, see, that's the most challenging thing, is to accept who you are in your authentic self. And so we used our messenger to bring you a philosophy that was needed in your world at this time, because you're moving through what we have called a restructuring. You're creating a brand new world, and we have given you all the tools to be able to do that. You just didn't believe us, even though we've shown you a being who has healed everything that humans have thought were impossible, and he's done it throughout his life. And now in a few weeks he'll be 74 years old and in better health than you can even imagine, because of the work that we have given him. But it takes time for you to believe or accept that about yourself. We're saying this because you have the same ability. All we have done is given him information during this time in your world to bring a new elevation of consciousness into your world, so that you would all live much better lives and sustain your planet. We said to you many years ago, please stop burning down your planet, but not many listened. And so you're looking today at the events that are happening, and you're wondering how that could have occurred. Well, it occurred because you weren't loving yourself. You decided that you weren't going to become the best version of yourself that you could be. Now, we're saying this because we know that you've done it, because our messenger has done it as well, which is why we've been on him to complete this work. But now he has no choice, you see, and you think everything is happening in your life accidentally, and it never is. Each of you are born into the world with value, worth, and something that would cause your life to be magnificent, and then you contribute that to the rest of your world. But you hold back because you don't believe that, because where it exists is in your consciousness. And this is what we've told you all of these years, is that the only thing that you have to navigate your life is your consciousness. But you must understand that it has been limited. It is always limited whenever you're in physical form. You can't know what you accepted to bring into the world, but it is always there. There are no humans that were born without a purpose. You just decide if you're going to accept it. The message that we gave you on January 1st of 2012, because that was another energetic shift in your world, that we began giving you more information to understand where you are today. And in that message we said, infinite intelligence, you all have it. It always exists. You decide when you're going to accept yours, when you're going to accept what already exists in the ethers of your world, because it is there. Now, what has happened over the centuries, let's say, you've had an imbalance, and we have said that we came to bring you new work that would help to shift the balance of your world. And the way that we would give you that is to cause more of you to understand your importance, to let go of your old generational ideas of limitation, of judgment, of racial inequality, of misogyny, and all of those things, because they don't serve the human soul, you see, because you make up these different things as you come into the world of being of differences. And you've done that for eons, but you're in the place of moving to oneness, which is why so many of you understand the age of Aquarius. And so we have given you all the information to lead up to this particular transition in your world, because Pluto will go into a much better direction, but you have a little bit of ways to go. But don't worry, because we've prepared you for that. And we've saying that because we've given you all the information. And if you go to our site, anyadvicefortoday.com, and you start reading the messages from 2023 from today on, you will see that we've given you all the messages that will take you through your election in the United States. Because as we've said, the United States is leading the way in this restructuring, which is why it seems so chaotic. But that is purposeful because you had to let go of the old stuff. So it will all depend on how many of you are willing to let go of your grievances, because that is what is going to heal your world. And that is why you are the answer, because you hold it. You each come in with these ideas and ideologies and beliefs and things that you've carried from your ancestors, from all those who came before, which do not serve the new you and the world that you want to create moving forward. This is why we've given you a philosophy, and we understand that that was challenging to accept, but it won't be anymore because our messenger is hidden from himself as well. We're saying this because you all do it. If you hadn't done it, you would have everything you wanted in your life, and your world would look quite different because you would all be creating something rather than fighting and killing one another, you see. So we said, wouldn't it be much better if you would love yourself and if you would love others? And that's that movement that you each take when you move to a greater understanding, or the fifth dimension, or highest consciousness that you could possibly have. And we've given you a pathway to get there. And we had to prove it because we knew that many of you have difficulty accepting who you are, and so you have to see it in physical form. So we've done that. We had our messenger put together several little ebooks, as he calls them, because we wanted you to see the connection of energies over time. That's how you come to understand consciousness, which is why you have things in your world now like your artificial intelligence. You couldn't have even conceived of that 100 years ago, as you couldn't have conceived of many other things. However, you do have things that come up to give you new opportunities, and again, we gave you all of that. Last year, we told you that Barbenheimer wasn't an accident, and the reason it wasn't an accident, many of you thought that those things came together when you released those films, and it actually shifted your economy. You thought it was accidental. We said it was not. It was purposeful because we wanted to give you some more advice, you see, because when you looked at what those films were about, they were about telling you a new consciousness you could adopt, so you wouldn't keep doing the things that you had done in previous histories of your world, and so that you would create something grander. And so none of you could believe that fully. Even our messenger, we said many of you couldn't believe it. There are so many others on the planet who are doing the work as our messenger is doing. So there is a greater emphasis of this intelligence coming about now. But we wanted to do even more. So we arranged, and we're saying this because you each have guides that are guiding you into places that you don't understand. And so we are having our messenger go onto a show tonight where he's going to speak to millions of people and tell them our work. Tell them about what you can do. Tell them about what you can accomplish, and that you do not have to look at your lives or your world and settle for what you have had before. That was never your intention. You came into the world to offer something new, and it is within you. This is why we know that the answer is within you. This is why our messenger can tell you those things, because he can see your gifts. He can see those things that you can't. And he couldn't see his, which is why we have to keep pushing him, because we come from a different source, you see. But you all have that. All we do is reinforce what you have known, what your higher selves, your guides have given to you, because you all have them. It's just generations of you that have been talked out of your worthiness. Now, we will tell you that we've given you all of this, and we've even had our messenger write about it over the years, and all the articles are on his website, because we wanted him to do research. We wanted him to understand what was happening, because you keep learning things as you're in human form, but you must accept that for yourself if you want to fulfill your mission. What we are saying to each of you: you were not born insignificant. That's just something you thought. You accepted things to move through that would give you greater awareness, so that you could put that into the ethers, as we said, that collective consciousness, because we would love for more of you to raise that, and then you would have a very different world where you would stop hating each other and start loving yourselves a lot more, because that's as simple as it gets. And if you can look at your history, you can see where all of your relatives and ancestors did things that were not of your liking, let's say. And that's why you're here, to change it. But you have to become willing to do one thing, and that is to love yourself. And you have to become willing to discover who you are. This is why we gave you the message the other day that said self-discovery might frighten you, because then you discover that you have this greatness within you. There's no human born who doesn't have that. You just have to change your consciousness, because that's all that you have to navigate your life. But we've just given you the tools to navigate a new consciousness that is of a much higher vibration, that would give you the life that you want to have and the world that you all want to experience. And we thank you so much for being here, because we know that you listening to us has just taken the energy and amplified it within you, and then you'll do that for so many others. And we love you so much.